What's every girl's first bra in Hawaii? The shaka bra. Welcome to All Good Things and All Good Time, where it's always a good day to be alive. This is my news channel where I tell you all of the news. It's so much of it. Lately, that's what I've been doing, watching all the news. So, got a program where I tell you all the news. It's like evil leaving my body. Sorry the news is so bad. Shouldn't be so bad. Doesn't have to be so bad. Could be good news, you know. Can't control other world leaders, but we do control who we choose. And, well, wouldn't it be good in the future if we choose good people to lead us, nice people, people who are sensible, who care, who want to make the world a better place, both for us and the environment and for the people around the world. It'd be so cool. Anyway, I right now have two live broadcasts of the ocean, one horizontal and one vertical. So it'll be interesting to see how those go today. I'm experimenting. Right now, this show is an experiment. I've seen the numbers fluctuate quite a bit. I'm not sure what time of day to do it. I'm probably not consistent enough, but it has been growing nonetheless. And ever since I started going vertical, I've had better results than previously. So it's almost like superstitious. I'm kind of afraid to go the other way, but I will. I'm going to probably go back and forth and experiment. I'm trying to figure out how to understand the algorithms, you know, by experimentation. But of course, I don't really follow what they want. I think they all want consistency, right? Either same times or all the time or same type of content. I follow no real rules with my YouTube channel, which I think is the only way to do it. Everyone who wants to make a YouTube channel should not pigeonhole themselves in one subject matter. Why not just do anything and everything you want, you know? So, hoping to go to canoe practice later. I'd kind of like to drink a beer, but I'm not. So, hi Sarah, aloha. Cheers. Some black coffee to cheers you with. Thanks for watching. Got a lot of bad news. Let's start with one of the most interesting stories. Hassan Piker, what's up? Hassan Piker gets abducted temporarily at the airport. Of course, they want to hassle him and interrogate him, and they're just dicks and childish. And name a car for an edit. I don't know what that is. Anyway, but yeah, Hassan Piker. It's funny. I play one video game, one character in one video game, and I've been like, I want to be he's been, because in this whole thing with Hassan Piker, he identifies one of the things he talks about. I watched his whole account of what happened. It's really awful what's going on. We have lawless law enforcement officers that are breaking the Constitution, giving people no rights. Just terrible stories, and I have a few of them here today to share with you, and I'm sorry that that's the story, you know. It is, it's India. It is midday morning. I have a live, if you become a subscriber, then you'll see that I have two live views of the ocean right now, one vertical and one horizontal. I'm experimenting to see which might get more traction. As soon as I went vertical, I had more people watching the ocean, and so anyway, yeah, you can see exactly what kind of day it is right now by just switching over to the live view of the ocean. Good question. But yeah, Hassan Piker, they were just super juvenile. The questions they asked him, the comments they made, and just, yeah, attack people for free speech. I'm telling you, I think the takeaway, again, I've said this before, but it's not the best time to travel. If you have any kind of mixed status, but I mean, I guess American citizens should be in fear too, but like, if you're not sure, man, you don't bring your phone with you when you travel. They're gonna want to, steal all the information from inside of it when you get back, or they're gonna detain you. I wouldn't go over the border until this president is out and all these brown shirts are gone. And the question was raised by Park Rose permaculture lady, like, where are they hiring these people? And I've been asking the same question, like, did they? I think because they were talking about having lists, right, of like people that are gonna just, they've been. If you want to get on this list for us to hire you, to do harm and crime on the behalf of the government, let's get that together. And I think they had like over, 100,000 people on a list, and maybe they're just hiring super racist. I bet there's more criminal records of the people detaining people than they are the people that they're detaining, right? If someone was once caught for possession of marijuana, now they got to be swept up and sent off to an extermination camp. I mean, it's just god awful what they're doing to people. It's so scary. Nobody's cool with it. Nobody likes it. It's the scariest shit ever. They're attacking everybody, right? So, and on that note, they just they're targeting. The House Republicans have a bill. They're targeting nonprofits, right? Any nonprofit that doesn't agree with the Nazi regime's agenda, which is their language, right? If you don't believe in our country's, they internalize it as our country's agenda, but it's nobody's agenda, and yeah, so they're going after nonprofits, and so that's gonna be trying to take away the nonprofit status of environmental groups, LGBT groups, immigration justice nonprofits, anti-genocide. Because you don't want to be against genocide, right? Oh my God! And if you're against genocide, then you're anti-Semitic. That's the kind of dipshit reasoning they try to throw at us, and they want stupid Americans to believe that shit. Unbelievable. Anyway, so, and racial justice groups. Oh, after 3 federal courts judges said there is no rhyme or reason to use the 1798 Alien Invasion Act or whatever to deport these people. One racist Nazi traitor Trump judge so 1 out of 4 has said it's some sort of reasonable use of it or something, and that's just god awful is what that is. Stephanie Haynes from Pennsylvania. Gross, disgusting. It's just sad seeing these people capitulate to the Nazis. I mean, this is straight up brown shirt evil shit going on in our streets everywhere, and more and more, there's a call for these people to be thrown in jail themselves because they're all committing crimes. They're kidnapping these people unlawfully, deporting citizens, taking away people's green cards without telling them, and then sweeping them up, throwing them in prison for months. I mean, it's inhumane. Oh my God, one of the stories is so gnarly because it could be any one of us. But I'll get to that. All right, let's go. I got to keep moving because there's so much bad news, and I haven't told bad news for like 2 days. So there's again, sorry to use this term, but I'm sort of constipated with the bad news. There's so much of it. So we're getting it out. What was that story? Hannah Dugan, the judge who was arrested by these brown shirts run by thugs, conspiracy theorists, dipshit Kashyap Patel, and oh God, Kristi Noem in Congress didn't disavow using habeas corpus. She thinks that's perfectly fine, which is the suspension of all of your rights and my rights, the ability to sweep up any and every American for any and no reason and lock us up for indefinite amount of time with no charges, just like they're doing already. It's so sad. But what a stupid case they've got. They have a failed case. But they're just too stupid. They got to try to prosecute, right? They can't admit that they're wrong, and because that's all they are, and that's why they don't want these people back from El Salvador, because all of them are innocent. None of them committed a crime to get where they're at. They were just people. um, no due process is un-American and inexcusable. 20 states are suing Trump for threatening to withhold federal funds because they don't agree with his agenda, right, to destroy the Constitution. Every single executive order has been unconstitutional and illegal, every single one of them. This Judge Ludwig just wrote a story. He categorized and cataloged all of it. And I just saw him interviewed. He said every single one of those are totally illegal. And he was a conservative judge that was going to become like a Supreme Court justice. He was right there at that level. That's how awesome, that's his background. The United Nations is just begging Israel, can you just let us in there? They're promising, don't worry, we're not going to let the aid fall in the hands of the terrorists, which is their big excuse. Hamas is going to get all the aid, so we can't give you any food. So they put an embargo on all their humanitarian aid for 3 months almost, and so they're just starving to death. 500,000 people, 500,000 people right now are starving to death. It is just awful, and they're being bombed every night. Last night in Gaza, another 100 people were murdered, innocent people, majority women and children. It's just awful. It's ethnic cleansing, it's genocide, and soon to be mass forced deportation. They're trying to move every 1.4 million people out of Rafah, where they told them all to go to be safe. Now they're going to move them all and then herd them into a little space, continue to kill them as much as possible, and then whatever's left, if they haven't starved to death, I guess they'll start putting on buses to the West Bank. I'm guessing, I don't know, but it's god awful. Hogg, was it David Hogg, the kid who survived the shooting at the Florida school, and then got insulted by Marjorie Taylor Greene, famously insulted by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Mr. Hogg, who probably knows a lot of hog jokes. He he might get ousted. Maybe he won't. There seems to be a debate about him needing to go because he's creating problems in the Democratic Party when they don't need problems. And but his narrative is compelling because we need young blood in the Democratic Party. Anyway, at this another Bulu Hassan Aslea. Anyway, the 215th journalist has been murdered by the Israeli army in Gaza. The Newark mayor being locked up and detained for 5 hours is bullshit, and he returned to the scene of the crime committed by the federal government that's just doing that everywhere. God, someone is going to report on their hiring practices, where they got all these brown shirt boot thugs, these racist traitors that are just all too happy to go take away people's rights, barge in, no warrant, warrantless apprehensions. It is just so frightening. Oh my God. Walton Goggins was on Saturday Night Live this week. It's pretty good Saturday Night Live. I haven't seen all the skits, but better than usual. And it's funny because he sees himself as being known from White Lotus. But I haven't seen White Lotus, but I have seen every episode of Justified, where he played Boyd Crowder. And after watching 60, 70 episodes of that show, I started to talk like I was from Harlan, Kentucky. So I know him as Boyd Crowder from Harlan, Kentucky. And Raylan Gibbons. Anyway, but it was pretty, and his opening, he brought his mom out on stage. And if that doesn't make you cry, well, you're a Republican with no heart or no soul, you know. Oh, I'm comforting myself with a little bit of chocolate milk, chocolate almond milk. Ah, that's some comfort drink right there. All right. So yeah, that looks like a good thing to review is Walton Goggins on Saturday Night Live. All right. Three Congress people have now been threatened with being arrested. You know, it's just so dystopian. This is totally 1984. This is the worst movie you've ever lived through. And then we still got to get insulted by daily comments by Republicans about this is what the American people elected us to do. You know, I'm making the American people safe. This is good for America. That. You know, this is all good. None of it's good for America. It's all god awful and scary and unlawful and unconstitutional and inhumane, right? Just cruel and unusual punishment to anyone they can punish that doesn't fit who they see as human. I mean, these people well, they're just a bunch of sociopaths. It's crazy. It's like the sociopath convention in the federal government. All right. Oh, and Congress people have been threatened with losing all their committee assignments and arrest, of course. Anyway, 38 people in Rikers Island have died. The conditions are so bad there. It's unusual punishment, right? Going to prison, you can so easily get killed there, and that's not how it should be, obviously. And 38 people since Mayor Adams in just 2022, a couple of years. Nearly 40 people have died at Rikers in 3 years. Ecuador president dies, Jose Mojica. He was super well liked and apparently a pretty good guy and austere. Didn't need any material stuff to be happy. So could have obviously had all the wealth he wanted, but didn't seem to need much. I can relate to that. After losing everything in a fire, you know, things become a lot less valuable overall, right? You just never really look at things the same. They are things, you know, and people and the environment and animals, they're all different than things. Unless you're a Republican sociopath, and then people are just things to throw away, to lock up, to punish, who are guilty of nothing but being a different color skin. Ugh, gross. So RFK speaking, right? And of course, all the people. So they're going after. They're literally hurting everyone that's vulnerable because they want the world to be populated by just the strong will survive, right? So we got to get rid of anyone who is disabled. They're firing all the disabled people. They're firing women. They're firing anybody that isn't white, right? Taking all their economic power away as much as they can. And they're attacking disabled people's health benefits because if they can attack those, then they can wipe them out. Eugenics, just kill the disabled, right? By taking away, and just like they're doing it, putting people in prisons. I mean, the conditions are so awful. People are dying in these detention camps. They are prisons. People who haven't committed any crimes at all, except working 60 hours a week and supporting their wife and kids and going to church on Sunday, are being put in horrible detention centers, often with people who are criminals. God, this one account I'm going to get to. This poor guy, Schmidt, in New England, was put in a maximum security prison. His cellmate was a convicted murderer, right? This is a guy that was just guilty of coming home from Europe. Oh my God. Let's see, what else? So 5 residential homes were bombed overnight in Gaza last night. 70 killed. in that 215th journalist murdered. They rained down 9 bunker buster bombs. Those are the 2,000-pound bombs that Trump immediately started rolling back out towards Israel. And I am totally in favor at this point. It's like, man, you had weapons. If you're using them up now, we're not going to replace them. I mean, why would we? They're not doing anything good. They're just looking for the last remaining buildings. Oh, look, there's one building over there. Let's go bomb that one. It's probably got some people in it. It's like, are they going over with, like, body heat imaging things to see where people are and just raining bombs indiscriminately on them, carpet bombing them? Anyway, 9 2,000-pound bunker busters hit there's a European complex of hospitals somewhere in Gaza, and that's where they hit those. I mean, hospitals, schools, and then, oh, well, that's where all the Hamas are hanging out. They're all in the hospitals and schools and mosques. It's just excuses to bomb every place. The food kitchens, the restaurants. They murdered this kid that was a witness to the thing is, like, the whole world's like, oh my God, they murdered 15 paramedics and they tried to cover it up, burying everything, including their vehicles, right? And a couple people survived it and were witnesses. God knows how they survived it. And so they go after and they kill the 12-year-old that was a witness to it. Okay. That shit happens every day. They're wiping out innocent people every day, targeting the ambulance drivers. They've been doing that since the beginning. Like, that's not some aberration. It's like not this one-off. It's just every day they're just indiscriminately attacking anyone and everyone. Just like they just named finally the guy that the Israeli soldier that murdered that American journalist that was over there. She got shot in the head. She was in press outfit. Guy pointed a gun at her head and shot her. An Israeli, soldier. And these Israeli soldiers, who are in many cases murderers and rapists, are going to go back home to their neighborhoods. Man, just like all the Russian barbarians, they're going back to their homes eventually if they live. And they're just going to terrorize their nations by being these just ruthless killers. Anyway, and of course, they've stepped up the offensive, because right now is when they need a bunch of tens of thousands more soldiers to march into Gaza and take over. And then there's this new thing where, they're going to get U.S. security, private security forces, which are always the most suspiciously evil groups on the planet. They're going to control all the humanitarian distribution with those guys, and that's how they're going to come to the assistance of the people in Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel won't let them have any of their food. There's just truck after truck waiting with food, water, fuel, hundreds, if not thousands of trucks of supplies just waiting to feed those people that are starving to death. 50 people just starved to death. 500,000 more are on the verge of it. It's gnarly. In addition to having bombs rain down on them over every night. Let's see. We have 750,000 homeless in the United States of America. That's a lot. We could do better. As I mentioned in the past, I have a whole set of ideas on how we could, like, start seeing people as people, not objects to throw away, Oh God. Okay, so if you haven't seen this is just what you would expect from these psycho, right-wing, fake Christian assholes that want to make sure nobody has any fun, right? They're going after your condoms, your mifepristone, taking away women's abortion, which makes life fun for men too. All that shit. Go after dancing pretty soon, but you know what? They just decided to go after changing the obscenity laws so that spicy romance novel is now going to be porn, and it's going to be illegal porn, and all porn's going to be illegal. Boy, that reminds me, this is kind of funny to me. I went to church here thinking, I've gone many times hoping to hear one thing that made sense, and on this one day, You know, they talked about two things that would seem to be very contradictory, right? On the one hand, abstinence, right? They were preaching abstinence until you get married, and you know there are some young people in the crowd. I thought, yeah, it's not going to hurt them to not, you know, get a bunch of venereal diseases before they settle down. There could be good there could be pragmatic value to not having sex. Okay. And then they went on to say, and porn is the devil. And I was like, okay, well, it's one or the other. Either you tell me I can have sex outside of marriage, or you give me porn, but you can't take away both. My God, you want to make people crazy? You want to create a bunch of mass shooters? Yeah, tell them, feel guilty for pornography and feel guilty if you have sex. And oh God, man, people just gonna feel terrible all the time. So that's a lot of people. all those sites, you know, are pretty common. Like people looking at naked pictures and naked sex acts is a little bit more common than it used to be. So that's going to be just attacking like this huge swath of people, including all of themselves, right? Like none of them are involved. They've never seen pictures of naked people. Oh my God, man. Funny thing is, growing up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the culture of Playboy and Penthouse, right? Nudie magazines. There was a whole culture. Every boy grew up sneaking into their dad's or their friend's dad's stash, looking at them. I mean, I have memories 5, 6 years old with all my friends, you know, with different dads' magazines in the creek, looking at them going, oh, look at this Playboy, you know, and so on. Or when one dad tried to throw away a bunch of his or put them out in the shed, then his son had access to boxes full of Playboys. And anyway, it was a whole culture. And yeah, all that is stuff. You'll be what? You have to go to prison for that? So what, everybody's search history is going to be suspicious? Oh my goodness, that's interesting, isn't it? What was that, Mike Lee? These psycho weirdos on the right. God, so many dipshit Republicans really weren't voting for all this stupid shit. But they weren't smart enough to see this train wreck coming. And now it is hitting the wall, and it's interesting, if nothing else. So yeah, all that. And again, that Park Rose permaculture lady did a nice little story on that, because apparently she likes to read those spicy novels, those spicy romance novels. Ladies for a long time, and men have been reading them magazines and books. My grandfather took care of a lady older than him. Like when he was in his 70s, she was in her 90s and bedridden in a back room, and she was reading the heck out of those those spicy romance novels, all kind of sex in them. Oh my God, crazy. Anyway, I digress. Okay. It'd be funny if it weren't true. Who got to write jokes when you got Republicans that are just stupid as shit? Oh my God. Oh, and then it would also mean the librarians that check that stuff out would be subject to imprisonment also. Yeah, that's good. Let's criminalize our librarians. Fucking asshole Republicans. You guys suck. Most un-American pieces of shit ever walked the fucking earth. All right. Bukele. So the El Salvador president, Bukele, who is a sick, twisted bastard, a sadistic, evil bastard, just the devil, and a lot like Trump. And he was making deals with the 18th Street Revolucionarios. The 18th Street Revolucionarios is the other gang in El Salvador, right? You got MS-13, and you got them, and he brokered deals with one gang, and then attacked and swept up and took the other one off the streets. But and that was reported on by El Faro, and they were creating arrest warrants to go after the 7 people that reported on it, and those people all got out of the country safe before those arrest warrants came down the pike. But that's going to be the United States of America pretty soon. Anyone, that doesn't align with the Nazi regime's set of beliefs is going to be subject to arrest and imprisonment, and we'll start seeing that, or hopefully we won't, but if we do, man, I'm gonna have to stop doing the news. But then they'll go retroactive, so I'll need to hide until we have somebody else in office or something, maybe, or so will everybody. Man, it's gonna be crazy what is coming. I don't think we've even seen the tip of the iceberg, and it's already just the worst nightmare we could ever experience. Cash App is famous for being a moron. He doesn't show up to work on time. These meetings that the FBI director used to have for all of history, one every day, now just twice a week. He has no work ethic. Looks like he's on drugs. Everybody thinks he's on drugs. Is it cocaine? Right? Isn't it great? And they're going after drugs. That's their big excuse too, to take away everybody's rights. Oh, we're taking druggies off the streets. Somebody that was once, convicted of possession of a doobie is, years later, oh, they're an immigrant, they were in possession of a doobie. We're getting all the druggies out, the drug addicts and the dealers. It's just it's a joke. But Cash App is famous for being a moron. He didn't do his homework. He's coming to a budget committee meeting. He doesn't even have a budget. He's supposed to bring a budget. That's his job. That's what the whole, if you want to get money, you got to ask for it. And in order to ask for it, you got to bring a budget. And he didn't even bring one to the meeting where you're supposed to bring one to ask for money and to talk about it. And he's like, I've just been too busy. And so now he's just famous for being a dipshit. If you watch that meeting, he's like a child being asked if he did his homework, and he answers like a child who didn't do his homework. Anyway, I just wish anybody doing the news anywhere would use his whole name, Cash App. In fact, in that hearing, they used that name on his placard again, Cash App. It's right there. I've never heard anybody utter that guy's name, right? Cash App is never a name said, but it's right there on the placard. I don't get it. Anyway, I write messages, as if anybody reads them, to all my favorite guys on YouTube, all the news bearers, all of them. And I say, or Jesse Dahlem, or call him, hey man, will you please, my whole message will say, please, please, please say his name, like Breonna Taylor, say her name. People have been hurt, say his name. And then I write Cash App, Cash App, Cash App. His name is Cash App Patel. Please, somebody use his name, because he doesn't want it used. He wants to be called Cash because that sounds cool. Cash App doesn't sound cool. He's never been cool. I'm pretty sure he was teased for that. That's probably why he's such a hurt little meek weakling that needs to hurt others now, just like Stephen Miller and Trump and all the rest of them. My God. Fidelity. Clay, what's his, I didn't get his last name. So this Fidelity National financial attorney was fired just because he gave a little legal advice to some immigrants, right? Which is his right to do. They need to know their rights. Like anybody that's just helping people understand their rights in this immigration melee is being attacked. And this guy got fired from Fidelity for just, he's an attorney. It's his fiduciary responsibility to tell the truth and to be helpful and use the law in the right way. Anyway, of course, he has really good lawyers. He was fired unjustly, and so I expect that's going to cost Fidelity probably more in the long run. And and then Oh, and two guys came to his door, right? In an intimidation tactic, super weird. And his internet stopped working, right? This attorney, and they came to his door right before he got fired, and they said they they said they wouldn't give him their ID, no badge number, their internet shut out, and they were there to interrogate him about helping an immigrant, understanding his rights and directing him towards an attorney that might do pro bono work for him. I mean, and then Fidelity fires him for it, which is just evil. I guess Bill Foley, the CEO of Fidelity, God damn, another one. It's like he and Charles Schwab, just asshole Republicans. You know, if you've got money with them, you might want to find a different place to put it, right? You can have the same portfolio somewhere else that's not with the, which I'm speaking to myself. The stuff my mom left me is at Charles Schwab. And one of these days I'm going to get around to decoupling from them, but it's just a little more complicated than I want to deal with right now. But Fidelity, I guess, same shit. I wonder if there's any brokerage companies that aren't supporters of the Nazi 2025 manifesto regime. I mean, it's gnarly. Anyway, okay, let's keep going. So much bad news, so much bad news. Good times here with all the bad news. Holy shit. Of course, Trump in Qatar after going to Saudi Arabia, he's just cleaning up all the money he can. He's got his sons out there making deals for the Trump family, Trump hotels, while daddy's president. He's taking backside money, and God knows what getting offered a $400 million plane. Now get this, it's going to take $1 billion to get that plane ready to be in Air Force One. It'll take more time than his whole time in office, so it won't be ready till he gets out of office. He'll probably be dead by then. Then it's going to be donated to his library. Why wouldn't it just stay in service? I mean, I could understand, okay, we're going to take this plane, and then we're going to turn it into Air Force One. Okay, maybe we'll keep the other two in service, and we'll have 2 and 3. We've got others being built that are going to come out online about the same time the new one would. That'll cost $1 billion to strip down and outfit. And I just don't understand why it wouldn't just stay in service, right? Why would it go to Trump's library? Why would that be the scheme? Which is, I mean, we know because he's a criminal and he's a fraudster and everything he's doing is a grift. We know that, but like, why? I mean, why wouldn't the deal be, you know, for the U.S. to just keep it after that? That's the part that just makes no rational sense. And if we were going to go through all that expense and accept that gift as a country and turn it into that thing, right, then we should just keep it in service and not just like give it to the former president to fly around on. Plus, they'll have all that weird technology in it after that when he's not president, which would make no sense also. Anyway, but it's just one of the many bribes. There's also a $5.5 billion deal in one of the cities in Qatar, one in Dubai. There's another deal in Saudi Arabia, all these Trump hotels. Then there's the executive club, $500,000 to join the executive club with the son, and then that'll give you access to the president. Then there's $5 million. You can pay $5 million to have dinner with the president right now. If you just want to have dinner with him and get in his ear and try to steal money somehow, you can just pay him $5 million, bribe him to get a bribe back. You know, get a little contract on the side that's worth $20 million. You know, it's pretty remarkable. All the grifting and the theft and the meme coin. Oh, and then the $2 billion transfer in his meme coin, which gives him over $100 million in processing fees. And it goes on and on. He's just lining his pockets so much. And these people have the audacity to say, oh, what we're worried about is Hunter Biden didn't pay his taxes. He was late on his Donald Trump's never paid his taxes. Never paid any taxes. Oh, the Biden crime family. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. And then Jared Kushner, he gets $2 billion from the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund to manage. And he's grifted $100 million from that in fees. It's, goddamn, it's remarkable. Whew, I tell you what. So let's get on down. Oh, how about in between the Syrian leader, lifting sanctions on the Syrian leader? He's a bit of a terrorist edge to him. $142 billion arms deal, because we're going to arm the shit out of Saudi Arabia, and they're going to bomb whoever we want them to on our behalf, and then so it's not us bombing those people, just like Israel bombing everybody. Israel bombs Lebanon, Syria. Do they bomb Jordan? They bomb the West Bank. They bomb Gaza. They bomb the Houthis in Yemen. Those are all the places they're currently bombing. Oh, Iran, they bomb in Iran sometimes for fun. Yeah, and we're giving them all those bombs. Like, I just don't, it should be a condition. Okay, we'll give you these bombs if you just don't use them. You just keep them, okay? Use this defense technology to keep anything from hitting you, and just leave everybody around you alone, maybe, and see where that goes. What if we tried that? Anyway, they are just a rogue nation. They keep trying to act like, oh, it's not them, it's everyone else. But nobody's looking at Israel like they're innocent anymore at all, in any way, shape, or form. They are brutally evil, and there is no association with terrorism by being offended by watching people being starved to death while they're being bombed to death. Innocent children and women and people who were once just living in peace on their land in Palestine, just living in peace. And then these Zionists who are looking for freaking end times, Armageddon. They gotta have Israel so they can get their Armageddon on, their end times fantasy. And they're Christians and Jewish Zionists. I guess that's the crazy ideology they have. Man, I didn't realize. I'm just starting to understand what it means to be a Zionist, and it doesn't seem like there's anything good associated with it. Yeah, and then it's crazy, because then everyone hates us. They're all the anti-Semitic ones. It's like, oh God, yeah, no. All right, so ceasefire talks in Turkey. 100 drones overnight bomb, Ukraine, because Putin doesn't actually intend to stop bombing anybody. He just loves to get them to think, oh, we're not going to bomb you tonight. And then they bomb them that night. It's just a big, I was just joking. Yeah, I'm not really serious about not bombing you. Genocidal, homicidal, Putin just murdering innocent people in Ukraine, just like Netanyahu is killing people in Gaza. It is indiscriminate murder. And man, it's amazing, like, how we treat a murderer, right? Somebody who kills one person or rapes one person or whatever. And then there's these whole systems and armies and governments that just commit horrific crimes. But it's okay because it's the government doing it or something, and there's just it's with impunity. I gotta believe that these sociopaths often just rejoice. Hey, isn't it great? We get to kill people and never have to go to jail for it. Like, if you love killing people, boy, what we're being shown is that if you're president, you get to do a lot of it just for shits and giggles. Starving people to death all around the world, starving people to death in Gaza, starving people to death in your own country, killing people by taking them off their life-saving medications. 9 million people are going to be denied Medicare, Medicaid in the next, after they make these cuts. And that's going to kill those 9 million people. Many of those people are on life-dependent therapies, and they're just going to be murdered by Republicans for the shits and giggles, for fun. The withdrawal of USAID is killing 3 million people a year, right? And spreading disease. We've got 2,000 new cases of AIDS that wouldn't exist on Earth every day, thanks to Republicans, dipshit. Those policies that those dipshits say they like. Oh, but it's those policies that are so good. I don't like the people, but the policies, oh, they're so smart. They really align with who I think I... Really? that aligns with who you are. Oh my God! Can you imagine being so depraved that you can align yourself with the abject terror, murder, concentration camps, torture of human beings, let alone all the other shit. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. So 24 people arrested in wheelchairs. How's that? 24. That's 25 people who are, paraplegics in some cases. They had to arrest them for speaking up against RFK killing them because RFK is on a path to kill as many weak people as he can, right? It's survival of the fittest. We're going to take you off vaccines. We're going to take away your medications. And we'll just see who lives. Oh, God. So much harm, so much crime. Republican crime lords just doing all this terrible shit all the time. All right. Those were the 2 pieces of paper, 46 minutes. That would have been my previous episode. But then the news just kept happening. So this guy, Fabian Schmidt, guilty of just coming home from Europe to his fiance and his child. He's an engineer. He's been a permanent resident, just got his 3rd green card. He's been here 18 years. He's well educated. I don't know if he has a PhD or a master's, but you don't become the kind of engineer that he is without a shit ton of education. Very smart person, never committed a crime in his life. And he is just, horribly treated. He, detained at the airport for 3 days, no shower, put on the concrete, a little mat on the ground where he slept for 3.5 hours. He gets sick. They don't allow him to get medication. They take him to the hospital. They don't allow him to call any of his family or the embassy. He's a German citizen. And I mean, he's just so mistreated. And then he's locked up for 2 whole months. And he's taken to a prison, a full-on freaking prison. What's the name of it? The Don Wyatt prison, I think in Rhode Island. He's put into a cell. His cellmate is a convicted murderer. Here's a guy, not a criminal, the sweetest man you ever met, just trying to get home to take care of his baby, his woman, go to work, pay his taxes, drive the speed limit. And no, we got to treat him like a murderer, treating good people like murderers. And that's what's really sick. And the sick and twisted Republican sociopaths, the malignant narcissists that are celebrating this shit. Oh my God, if you haven't seen it, Matt Gaetz, also in the news. I figure he went there because there's probably a lower consent age there, right? And he's looking, and with all those 80,000 people that have been without due process swept up off the streets, all young men, probably a lot of young women there, without boyfriends, so I figure he's probably there to, meet 15, 16-year-old women, the kind that he's looking for. Sick Matt Gaetz. And how sick is he? He goes to CCOT just to dance on these innocent people's graves. And in a weird something or another, whereas in the past, all the prisoners, because the prisoners are doing what they're told, man. They're getting tortured and beaten and murdered. And so the prisoners are all making noise and hand gestures at him, and it's as if it's this weird staged event, which it is. But just gross. I can't imagine being that sadistic, right? At Trump's 100-day rally, he showed the movie of these people, innocent people, being shaven and shackled and thrown into a gulag where they're gonna die, and celebrating it. Sadistic, evil people. And man, I just feel sorry for them and their families, anybody that knows them, anybody that's friends with them. My God, if you got a friend like that, I wouldn't get drunk with them. I wouldn't trust him for nothing. Oh my God. So yeah, if you see that, wasn't allowed any calls. And he was asked questions like, you don't love America? Or, I bet you miss your dog. Like just trying to be extra asshole-ish, right? Knowing he has a dog. Oh, I mean, just weird, evil, extra judiciary evil shit being done to this guy. And noteworthy, perhaps, this guy, super white. Super white. So, not the image of what Republican racist traitors are wanting to see. They want to see brown-skinned people being treated like, you know, some sort of lab rat. And not a human being. P. Diddy's trial has begun, and that's going to make for some news. Don't have any comments on it yet because we haven't heard all the wild and crazy shit that's going to come out of it yet. But man, that discovery process, all the various evidence about the different people, places, and things, it's going to be very revealing and interesting, and I assume there's going to be some fallout, but we just don't know what it is yet. But that's interesting. This brilliant woman, Naomi Klein, wrote this book. She was interviewed about how all these shitty people and their fucked up ideologies about end times, about the Armageddon, about the end of the world, are all coming together, right? And not with a hope of a beautiful future, but just of one where they're the ones that go to heaven, or they're the ones that survive the aftermath, but not like which it used to be, right? The end times, people used to imagine a utopia afterwards. But the Zionists, Christians, and Jews that need the fourth estate or whatever, something like that, for the Bible prophecy to come true. And then there's the tech sick billionaires that are telling us, the end of the world's coming, so we got to get to another planet. And they're all building huge bunkers underground while they're the ones bringing us closer to the end times. Then there's all the different people that think that they're going to be whisked away to heaven, or, right, which is one group. And then the other ones that think, they'll get the remnants of what's left on earth. And then what are the other ones? There's the people who have just given up on this world and they've decided, use it all up. Then there's AI and its own interest, which is to just pump all the oil out of the ground and the coal, get all the energy it can to feed itself. AI will bring, wants its own, and to make robots to do everything. There's all these contributing. And then there's the fortress nation state mindset of nations that just want to be like a fortress and keep everybody out and keep everybody in and control everything, and for end times. Anyway, interesting. What was the coalition of people who? Yeah, and in the end, it's like, it seems like, she says, she makes a very good point about how it seems like all we really need to do is get people to believe in a coalition of people who believe in this world and trying to make this world good and better and life better and the future better, right? If we could just get people to believe in that, which shouldn't be very hard to sell, right? A global coalition of people who just want to make the world a better place and see the future become better for themselves, their families, everybody they've ever known, right? So that's where hope lies, I guess, right there. And then there's these tech crazies that want to create the rise of the corporate city-state, a city-state like the one down the SpaceX city, where the laws are their own. They don't have to adhere to any laws, tax laws, all the laws, which will allow them to just engage in whatever sick proclivities they might have above the law, because the law will be something that they determine, maybe, right? And then all the jobs that Trump's trying to bring back to America, all of them are jobs for robots, right? So that's not cool, but he never talks about that. We got to bring all these manufacturing jobs back for Elon Musk's robots, right? Um, so stealing. Oh, and then the part where this guy, what they ask you about when they're interrogating you is, so how much money do you have? Oh, what bank is it in? You know, they want to get every bit of information about these people, and they just threaten to steal everything. They're not just taking people's out of their lives and stealing them from their lives, but they're going in and stealing all of their assets, everything they own, all of their bank, the money that's in a bank in the United States. They're stealing the money that's in their home in cash. They're stealing their possessions. It's brutally evil and disgusting and scary, and not what any real American who likes freedom and wants to see justice and life and liberty for all can tolerate watching, right? It's killing us. All right, and it goes on, Oh. So yeah, there's a call out. Why are they covering their faces? Because what they're doing is illegal. I'm seeing, Kyle Kalinske, Park Rose, Permaculture, others are now, again, saying what needs to be said, and these people are all breaking the law. And all these people, all the way up, are breaking the law, and they all need to be held accountable legally for breaking the law, from Stephen Miller to Tom Homan to the boot thugs on the street, the white supremacists they hired did they hire Proud Boys and Klansmen and Oath Keepers? Is that what they did right away? Oh, we got to hire a bunch of sick, twisted militiamen to go around and harm people and then laugh at them while they steal from them. I mean, it's that's what it seems like, right? What I've been thinking too. I heard Park Rose Permaculture lady say the same shit I've been saying and thinking, and yeah, and we are just being terrorized by our own government. Terrorized. The terrorists are in the White House and in Congress and in our local police force and the FBI and the NSA and the Homeland Security. Tulsi Gabbard just fired 2 people for saying the truth, right? Anyone who speaks the truth in any situation about anything that's being paid by the federal government will be fired, right? So they're just cleaning out everyone who isn't sick and twisted and a Nazi who believes in all this sick Project 2025, Christian nationalist, right-wing, sick and twisted, evil shit. Anyway, cruelty is the point. That is the point, right? Because they just love to be cruel because they're sadistic, evil, fucking devil worshippers, worshiping the fucking clown devil, the fat-ass clown, stinky devil in a diaper. Oh, anyway, all right, let's see. Oh, how about Trump, the big wuss bag, saying, "Oh, Biden, he's really mean. He's a lot more. He's a really mean person, Biden. Like, everyone's a bad person, a mean person. They're the rapists. They're the murderers. He's the rapist. He's the murderer. He's the bad person. He's the fraudster. He's the liar, the hypocrite, the traitor, the insurrectionist. He's everything he ever accuses everyone else of being." It's so transparent and obvious. And what shit he's been doing, all these just dementia-filled interviews where everybody is just laughing at him, and he's saying laughable shit, but it's all serious and weird at the same time. Like, God. Anyway, the shit anyway. Yeah, they're just. Oh, how about this? When Trump's like, "Oh, Biden, he just ruined lives," talking about how he ruined lives while he's ruining countless lives, murdering people everywhere in the world, in our country, just ruining lives. These people that are getting arrested in wheelchairs, paraplegic people, their lives are being ruined by Donald Trump. And he talks about ruining lives. He's ruining all these people trying to get in and out of our country, people working, honest, hard-working people. He's ruining lives everywhere in mass. And then he complains about, "Oh, so many lives ruined." He's talking about all the criminals around him that were ever held accountable, right? The criminals he let out of prison, all of them. Oh, and on that note, if you haven't heard this news story, MAGA traitors want to pardon the murder of uh, um, George Floyd, Derek Chauvin. There's a movement to try to pardon that murderer, which I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, right? It'd be a total, that's what we expected kind of thing, right? From these racist Nazi traitors that are just, oh God, it's just so sick and twisted. And then, of course, he has to say weird 10-year-old insults like George Slopadopoulos, right? Oh, God. It's so cringeworthy. I hate to use that word ever, but oh, really? You're just that childish and stupid. Oh, ABC, they're really awful. They've gone downhill, right? Oh, because they won't lie and say the kind of lies that Fox News will say, or AON. AON's been made one of the official voices of Radio Free News or whatever, Radio Free America, right? It's supposed to stop Russian propaganda, and now we have Russian propaganda on the channel that's supposed to stop communist propaganda. Oh, that's great, isn't it? And he says, oh, so many people tried to ruin me. And so he's just on this vengeance campaign, right? Because he is a criminal. He's committed so many crimes. There's too many to even address in a lifetime. But of course, he's the victim. So everyone tried to ruin me, and now he's just ruining people's lives just for the fun of it, right? Which is so disgusting when you see crime and cruelty done for the sport. Like, hey, you go running out there, human, and I'm going to go shoot you. You know, like, these are the people who hunt humans for fun. That's what Republicans are. How about him calling Schumer a Palestinian? God, is he an idiot. I can't even. How about the only way to refer to Trump's bill, right, that's before Congress, is the big ugly bill, the ugliest budget proposal in American history, because it's going to throw our national debt totally on its back and make it 100 times worse. It's just a nightmare, right? Fiscally, like, there's no fiscal responsibility in this budget, and it's just god awful. But yeah, it's Trump's big ugly bill. Anytime you hear the other word used, it's just amazing how they try to use all these weird words to try to obfuscate truth and reality, and people just soak it up, and then they start repeating it. There's nothing more annoying than hearing some news broadcaster say, oh, Trump's big ugly bill, we'll call it that because that's what it really is, but you know the other word they're using, so-called big ugly bill, right? So-called, but they throw it out there, and it just kind of fucks with everybody's minds and puts that word into and there's nothing beautiful about it. It's all disgusting and cruel and inhumane. The whole bill favors giving tax breaks to the richest of the rich at a time when they have too much wealth. Drug companies. So I just wonder if there's this new weird drug policy that's come out, and I don't fully understand it yet. It has something to do with the lowest price everyone else is paying in the world is what we're going to pay here. Something to that effect. Some friend of his said, hey, I don't understand why I'm paying $1,300 for Ozempic when someone else is paying $88, in England. And he's like, oh, I should do something about that. So that's like how it happened. And meanwhile, when he got in office, he stopped the discounts. Biden had the price of insulin down from $300 to $30 a month. And 10 other drugs. And then there was another phase of 10 more drugs that were going to become super cheap. And there was this sort of brokered peace between the pharmaceutical industry and Biden, who said no. And so that was going on, and that's been stopped. And now Trump's just decided to do this thing. But I'm sure it's going to be fraught with corruption and problems and not be accurate. And I can't really articulate all that yet, but it's coming. Meanwhile, the no tax on tips is a big farce. It does not stop taxes on tips. It's just a big bill or whatchamacallit, an executive action that is going to make it easier for his friends to not pay taxes. That's all this bill is a way for the rich to not pay taxes. But he's calling it no tax on tips. But it doesn't eliminate taxes on tips at all. It's being seen as a big old Trojan horse, a big old lie wrapped in a lie so that people will believe lies. Anyway, so that's going on. Another story. But so will drug companies, if he really does take a big bite out of drug companies, bottom line, they are notoriously the most evil companies in the world. There is and has been conjecture by many over time, like the tobacco industry, about them maybe doing harm to people to stop certain things from happening, right? With billions of dollars on the line and no scruples, the pharmaceutical industry is suspected of all kinds of nefarious shit. And I don't think it's a stretch to think that some of that's probably true. And on that note, I once met a guy here in Hawaii who said, I'm a doctor, and 4 of my friends, he said, 4 doctors he knows found the cure to cancer. 4 of them, not 1, not 2. 4 guys he know found the cure to cancer. And then within 6 months, they mysteriously died. And he thought it absolutely was the pharmaceutical industry killing his friends off. So that was interesting. That guy wrote a book called Got Health. And he's like, Got Health, like Got Milk? I'm like, yeah, I get it. And then he told me a funny joke. He's like, I'm a butt doctor, and I see nothing but assholes all day, every day. That was his joke. Anyway, so if he does do something, I don't know about this. I don't understand the whole pharmaceutical bill thing, executive action that he's trying to push forth. But if it really does take a bite out of pharmaceutical companies' bottom line, that might be detrimental to his health if pharmaceutical companies are as evil as many people suspect and think that they are. I'm just saying. Does he know who he's messing with when it comes to those? Those are the real, dark money mafia, dangerous people, maybe. Them and the Christian nationalists who he's in bed with. He calls Jim Comey horrible people. One of the most upstanding guys on the planet, right? Just a intelligent, sensible, thoughtful, articulate fella. Used to be the head of the FBI. He's a horrible person, right? Donald Trump, the most horrible person in the history of people, calls other people horrible people, bad people. These are bad people. It's so insane when he does that because it's so wrong and it's so much the opposite. He projects all of his awfulness onto everybody else. It's something special, truly. Our local homeless population might increase. I might become homeless soon. We'll see. It's been nice staying here. I don't know what the future holds. But I think FEMA wants to try to get everyone out by February. It's been the what we've been telling, and sooner before that, right? So when they visit once a month and do an inspection, they're like, what apartments have you looked at? So I got given an apartment that I've the amount of money it costs to stay there, the address, I just give it to them as if it's just this routine I have to go through. Anyway, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, but the good news is the worst case scenario, I've already got that figured out, which is, I become unhoused. But the home I used to live at is not going to be built for another 3 years. That's a vacant lot. And it's where my address is on my ID. And the owner, I just saw him, and he gave me permission to park my car in the driveway, or my 2 cars in the driveway, and sleep there in my car if need be. Put a tent up if I'd like. If I get a weed card, I could grow 7 plants there legally. Be the only thing on the lot would be these 7 pot plants. That was his idea, which I didn't see coming. But that's, and with 1 burner, 1 saute pan, I can cook a good meal. I could get a battery for power, one of those solar batteries, and become a camper. But look, good luck always comes. So I'm going to have faith that everything's going to work out. Good things are coming. They always do. And my faith in good outcomes seems to bring good outcomes, maybe. I don't know, or it's some angel looking out for me. But that's probably not going to happen, but I'm mentally prepared and ready. I have 2 cars, so it's like, 2 cars full of storage space for my few belongings after the fire. I should be able to keep most of them in there. Maybe I'll get a storage space. Maybe I'll set up a tent on the property and store stuff in the tent on the property, inside plastic bags in case it all gets wet in some crazy storm we have. Anyway, but I think there could be a big group of people in the next 6 months that ends up becoming homeless locally, like an extra 500 homeless people on the west side, that are all people who had lives and jobs and had their everything thrown upside down, and they still haven't recovered in one way or another, and suddenly, on the streets. So that's going to be interesting to see. And if I'm on the streets, I'll be on the streets able to make content all the time. I'll be making way more content. I'll be out in the world a ton more. So there might be a lot of positive side effects, right, to not having a home. I'll have to go to the gym all the time and take showers. I do have a gym membership that's right, so I have a place I can work out every day, take showers, use bathrooms. Of course, there's public showers at all the beaches, so I can go to various beaches and take a shower. Pools, there's a public pool with a bathroom and showers that I'll be swimming laps at. So I have faith that I'll make the best of it should I become homeless, hoping not to. Then again, I could go ride a bicycle across the United States, maybe come visit some of you guys, stay at your house for free, because just as almost as valuable as earning money and all that is also not spending any money and keeping it down so small that, whatever savings you have will, be barely used, and, you can get by for a while. Nice thing is the owner of the house is going to rebuild in like 2 or 3 years, and then he's told me that I am expected to be welcome to rent there again, so I'll be able to live where I once lived, and life will move on. But what a weird reality that would be if I became homeless soon, and then I had 2, and I didn't find shelter, because I probably will also. That's the other, even if I become homeless, probably find shelter. But if I do become homeless, what if I end up living unhoused for 2 to 3 years? That would be but like I've already survived 2 years since the fire, so it's just another 2 years. I'm already halfway, but that's 5 years total between house burned down and moving back in and getting back to normal life or whatever. Interesting anyway. All right, so this weekend's protest, there'll be a protest this weekend. There wasn't one last weekend, so when I went to the memorial service for Big T, Tony Calderon, I wasn't missing a protest, which is good because I really want to cover those. The last one I covered got like 4,000 people watching it at one time, which was really intense. But I made the mistake of, and what I'm going to do in the future is either stay back at a distance, and then I'm going to have to hit mute when I go through the crowd when we hear any music, because when there's any music in the environment, it copyrights my videos, and my videos are monetized, so I want them not to be copyrighted. I want to be able to earn, a penny from each view. That could be a $3 video. So I'm about to get my first check for $121, and there's this interesting idea called float, right? Float on money. And I just want to talk about it for a second because it's what Google is doing, right? Like, so let's say you start a YouTube channel and you finally get to the number you need to monetize, and you monetize, right? And all your work before that, you don't get paid for, but from that point forward, right, you get paid. So, you start making very small amounts of money, and they say, well, we're not going to give you a check until you get to $100. Well, it might take you 6 months to get to that 100. So that $100 that they owe you is in their possession for the first 6 months. And then they say, okay, you hit $100, and then they wait a month and say, okay, now that's the cutoff point. So then they move that $100 up to the check you're going to get, like the one I've got, $121 coming and then they wait another whole month, and then they say that it's coming in 3 weeks. So like 8, 9 months later, I'm gonna get this $121. Meanwhile, they've kept all that money and they've been able to earn money off the interest from it. It's only $100, but when you multiply that times 1 million people, which God knows how many people have all this money being kept by them, but is actually, someone due to someone else, right? Money that we're all due, that we're gonna get eventually, they hold, right? And employers do that for the 5 days before you get your money. After they do it, huge employers have millions, billions of dollars for 5 days to invest, right, and make interest on, right? And the accumulation of all that money invested for those days over the year ends up being a lot of money. So it's just interesting because Google's certainly earning the float on this, on my first money. Still waiting for my first check. They said, oh, they cut the amount off like what, over a month ago, and now they're saying it's going to come in 2 or 3 weeks. So I was hoping it'd come sooner. I was starting to think it was going to come, but yeah, it's a long wait. But that's the float that companies make when they withhold giving you your money for whatever period of time. They can go to town making money on that. And when there's always money in transition, it's like a constant amount of money that they're just always investing. And they've got people working on just investing that money that sits between A and B in their possession for a little while. Anyway, that's float on money. And Google is earning some float. I'm sure I'm not the only one right now, right? That they're holding the money for. But likewise, totally different when you try to monetize your channel. They'll give you a number verification, or no, they'll say, oh, we just sent something to your mailbox. It's a special number, and when you get it, you come back to Google and YouTube and you put in that special number, and that's a verification process, right? That only takes 5 days. They can somehow manage that in 5 days. Oh, but when it comes to getting your money, it's gonna be 6 months until you get to your first $100, and then you're gonna have to wait another 2.5 months to get it. Anyway, so I'm still waiting for my first check. I'm now making like $1.30 a day. I went from 30 cents a day to $1.30, $1.40. Some days I make $2. One day I made, I think, almost $4.20. That was the day when I went to the protest. So protest should be pretty cool. All right. Let's see what is going on. I think that's, what else? Is there more? Oh yeah, okay, we talked about that. Oh yeah, South Carolina upholds a 6-week ban on abortions. So before a woman knows she's pregnant, is when it's going to be too late. Once a woman finds out, it'll be after 6 weeks. Oh, I'm pregnant, and yeah, there's nothing you can do. Anyway, so that's gnarly and not good for women or men. Hello, men benefit from women having the right to safe abortions. Women not dying from being pregnant and then being able to not start a family when you don't really want to. Yeah, that benefits us guys just as much as it benefits women. Where are the real men who are fighting for their right, for women's rights to have an abortion? My God, it never happened to me, but if it did, I would have seen it like I was dodging a bullet, right? Nobody wants to have a family or kids when it's not the right time and they're not really wanting to do it. To be forced, imagine that. You get raped in a red state and then you're forced to have that child, even if it kills you. I mean, I would be terrified to get pregnant in a red state. It could be a death sentence. I mean, that's pretty brutal. Oh, yeah, Christina mentioned that. Oh, how about being asked, Christina being asked about a Photoshop picture, right? That Trump showed, oh, look, MS-13 on his knuckles, which was a blatant lie, right? The Republicans keep lying with evidence in Congress and in front of cameras all the time. Everything they say is a lie. And this woman couldn't even admit, oh, we're following protocol. She just kept saying just word salads, Kristi Noem. Oh, she is pure evil, like pure evil. The puppy killer is on full display every day. She is a sociopath. Just like Matt Gaetz going and dancing on the graves of these innocent Venezuelans. It's the saddest, or innocent people. Who knows? There's probably some unlawfully deported, no due process. People who had court orders protecting them in our country. Hi, Lauren. Aloha. I wish, yeah, Jesus. The Trump is like the freaking Reaper. Let's see. Tulsa fires. Okay, we got that one. Arrested for. Oh, how about this? Evil Republicans, right? Just doing evil, doing crime, being cruel, unusually punishing our best and brightest. Arrested for smuggling frog samples. A Harvard graduate student or professor, Ksenia Petrova. She was in transit. They scooped her up, and they're going to prosecute her for smuggling frog samples, which is just ridiculous. And since February, she's been in a prison in Louisiana. Oh my! So let me tell you a quick story about a Louisiana prison. When I was riding my bicycle across the United States the first time, right? It was the summer of '89. I left my parents' house I was 20 years old. I left Lucas Valley, where George Lucas Skywalker Studios are in Marin County. Went down to the ferry, took it across, went and visited. All right, then I started heading down the coast. And before too long, you get to a place where there is a famous old, on Highway 1, it's been there my whole life, Army supply store, right? Or a military supply store. For those of you who don't know about these, they're an old traditional type of store where veterans go and sell their gear and buy gear, and it's just all that stuff. Some people are just really into everything camouflage, and knives and guns and patches and, all that shit. And so Army supply stores serve this need, and they recycle all those things that when soldiers die, this is where their shit ends up. So I go in there now on this first trip. My shitty stepdad, who stole half my mom's money, didn't know he was a gold digger until the end. He'd given me a little pocket pistol, a little .22 pistol, right? That wasn't registered like so many guns, because they're not dairy products. They don't go bad, and all the old ones are still working, including that one. So I had that under my seat. I was carrying a gun, a loaded gun, and I got talking to those guys about carrying a loaded gun, and they said to me, "Son, going across state lines with a weapon is a felony." And he said, "Son," he said, "you'd rather be dead than be locked up in a Louisiana prison." That's what they said to me, right? You'd rather be dead than locked up in a Louisiana prison. And so what did I do? I said, "Hey, you guys, any chance you could hold this gun for me? I'm going to get my dad to come down and pick it up from you guys, all right?" And they're like, "You know what? Yeah, we'll do that for you." So I left the gun with those guys. I bought a knife, like I would ever try to win a fight with a knife. But whatever. I bought a knife from them. A little one, and for protection. Stupid, unnecessary. But nevertheless, I left the gun with those guys, and it was their comment about the fear I should have of the Louisiana prison that made me give them the gun and leave it behind. And then I never travel with a weapon, because that'd be stupid. So, yeah, that's my story about a Louisiana prison that caused me to give up the gun I was driving across the United States with. That was the second day of my first ride across the United States. I did it 3 times on a bicycle. So for a good cause, for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, that just had its funding stripped away by the federal government, because they're not spending money on anything, but somehow they're not saving any money. They're going to spend $500 billion more than they took in this quarter, and they just stopped paying everybody for everything. So where's the money really going? You know what I mean? Where's that money going? Everyone's wondering. Yeah, but the worst moment of all time is when the Homeland Security evil woman says she's perfectly fine with suspending habeas corpus, which is saying perfectly fine with suspending all of your rights and my rights and doing irreparable harm to us, just like we're doing to immigrants right now. Which is why we need to fight back against immigrants being treated like shit, because that's just the staging ground before they do it to us. Anyone that doesn't agree with the Nazi manifesto agenda. So yeah, and then of course they're looking at attacking mifepristone, which is a great benefit to women, and it's a safe way for them to have pregnancies that they choose to have, not ones that are thrust upon them. Yeah, this evil Ben Cohen wants to cut Medicare. Oh no, Ben Cohen. He's one of Ben and Jerry guys. He was there protesting with all the people who are going to get murdered when they take away their health care because they're on life-sustaining medical care, right? People in wheelchairs, people with that are paraplegics, etc., right? And Ben Cohen from Ben and Jerry's was there protesting. He got arrested, and he was saying, yeah, they're cutting Medicaid to pay for bombs to murder people to commit genocide in Gaza. And that is a great connection to make, and it's absolutely true, and good on you, Ben from Ben and Jerry's. My body doesn't need it. I am technically obese. I have 33% body mass index, but I might just go have to buy some Ben and Jerry's, you know, along with some more Moosehead beer to support the Canadians. And that is, there's also all the bribes going on in the Middle East, and we'll sort those out once they're all understood. We don't know about all the backside bribes, you know, the gold and the cash and the piles and, you know, hey, here's a house. We're just going to put a crate of money in there, Trump, for when you get out. And then you just come back to this house with all this gold and this crate of money just waiting for you, you know. Then you can put that on that $400 million plane and just start flying that wherever you want to go with it. Yeah, anyway, and that is all of the news. What time is it? 87 minutes. So that's all right. A lot of news, a lot of bad news. Sorry, the news is so bad. Doesn't have to be so bad. You know what you... Oh, so now that school just ended, by the way, that was a big distraction. I turned in one of my 3-minute videos. I think I got an A. And now that that's over with, every Tuesday night, there's one place that does do open mic comedy. So I'm going to go there and do comedy. I'll probably do 2 versions of it, probably do a live version of it. Either filming me, you know, from like right here, or filming the audience. So you see the reaction. It's a small place. It's technically, I think, one of our, maybe our only gay bar on the island, the Vibe Bar. Although the crowd for this particular evening is a pretty mixed crowd. I've done it once before. It's a small little place. So it's typical of when you do open mic comedy, you know, your audience is 7 or 12 or 17 people if you're really lucky. Like more than 12 is a big crowd. But anyway, I'm going to do that starting this week. And I'm going to try to do that regularly, make that a regular feature, maybe start working. I'm starting to talk to a theater owner, and I'm going to rent this place out. I'm going to pay for a really good film rendition of a 1.5 hour comedy special called Finding My Marbles, Life After Losing Everything. And I don't want to repeat that comedy special a bunch of times. Maybe I'll only do it once. Maybe I'll do it a bunch of times. But I want to get past that, because that's, you know, I don't want to be lamenting and reminiscing about the fire very much. Just long enough for therapy of this one. It's not really a story about the fire so much as all the potentially funny things that happened afterwards, before, and to this day. The funny thing that happened recently. Oh, by the way, last night I stopped a crime. I did a good deed. There was these... it's so funny because these dumb criminals, they hit the brakes so much that they screeched their tires on the street down below, and my door was cracked open a little bit, and I heard it, and I was like, that's weird. Why would anyone just screech, stop their tires? And it was one criminal talking to another criminal saying, hey, stop the car, let's go down here. So they stopped the car. It was a beat up black truck, 3:12 in the morning, 3:12, drives down under the building, right? And I'm like, there is nothing good that's good. There's no good reason for these guys. I can see a crime before it happens. So I grabbed an umbrella, so I had something in my hand, and then oh, I should grab my camera. So I grabbed my camera, I had an umbrella, and I just started recording it when I got out. When the elevator opened, they ended up pulling next to two down from my car, which had a surfboard on it, and next to a Jeep. Maybe they were going to go for the catalytic converter, because that once happened in this garage right before I moved in. Maybe they were going to go for my surfboard. Maybe they were just going to rummage through cars. I don't know, but they were going to do something nefarious. They didn't go like to the recycling bin, right? If they gone straight to the recycling bin, I'd be like, okay, they're just people doing the hard work of scooping up the recycling and trying to make an honest living, right? And there are people like that, but they didn't do that. They were pulled up in a different spot near my car, and I just started walking right towards my car, which was towards them with my thing on. And guys getting out of the car, they see me, they see the elevator, they just got right back in, backed up, drove out, and their car was clanking. And yeah, I stopped crime. Probably that I would have been the victim of, unless they were going for the easy. I figure a Jeep would be good for getting a catalytic converter because you can get under it easily. But shoots, and then I had to walk the street last night, and then I saw them park in front of Dolly's, and one guy get out and go up. The parking lot is out like through a little causeway, and yeah, so I called 911. I was like, hey man, here's the license plate number. These guys are kind of up to some no good. I'm pretty good at spot. I stopped a crime a long time ago. If you don't sleep perfectly, if you sometimes take naps and then you're up in the middle of the night, sometimes you're just awake when crime shit is happening. If you just look out your window or down from your balcony or lanai, you just might see some crime because it's 3 in the morning, and that's when criminals, especially the ones that are on like speed or coke, I mean, that's when they got to figure out how they're going to afford it the next day. So that was pretty cool. And met with my disaster case manager lady, and I'm hoping to find, like, I was talking to a friend of mine who's like turned down the offer of some housing that was some kind of like little box prison, a room like 7 by 8 where a bed would barely fit, and then a tiny everything, but it had air conditioning. Anyway, I was like, shit, if they offer me that, because presumably at a really fair price, I'd be happy with it. I would take any of that. So I got to get proactive and apply for all that shit. And then I got to get proactive and provide all the stuff that these lawsuit people need. Hopefully I'll be included in some kind of settlement. Hopefully that money will come through sometime in my life or in the next 6 months. I really don't know. I don't know what is the future. And I don't know how they're going to divvy that money up. The $4 billion, presuming $3 billion of it will be distributed amongst the people. 20,000 claims were made. All the numbers before that were 12,000 people lost their homes. 7,000 families or people lost their homes or everything. But of course, there were people who didn't lose anything but that lost their job, and they had a right to a claim. So that's why I think there's 20,000 people in the lawsuit. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching the god-awful news that gets worse every day. If you think the news is bad today, tomorrow it's going to be worse. All these poor innocent people being tortured and killed, starved, bombed. I mean, I expected all of this horrible shit to happen because I knew what the sick and twisted white nationalists, white supremacists, Republicans were going to do to try to hurt everybody, these Nazis. But watching it is worse than imagining it. It just breaks hearts and minds, gives Americans nightmares about the country they once had, they once thought they had, they once thought they lived in. Now there's just no rights. The Constitution doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's truly... it's disheartening. It's bone-chilling. Anyway, God bless America, And yeah, hopefully I'm a better alternative for you people. Eventually I'm going to interview people. I'm about to get out and do some people interviewing, drive around for that purpose. I should be making more content, more beautiful content. But it seems like when, okay, I want to interview you, John. Okay, hey, if, plane tickets aren't very much, John. So if you want to fly out here for a few days, 4 days, I mean, provided I could get kicked out anytime, we might be camping on the vacant lot, right? You might be sleeping in the car next to me. But if that doesn't happen, if you fly out here soon, or if I can figure out how to do it on Zoom, that's another thing. I just learned something on Zoom, how to show something in class, how to share something from my computer with the class. The teacher showed me how to do that for the final. I don't know how to use any of this shit, but it's probably not that complicated. I could do it. Yeah, phone call. Oh, okay, yeah, just a phone call. There you go. See, I could do that. Although I have my other phone, although I have one more phone I could do it with. So, yeah, we'll do that, John. Let's interview you. We'll start making an interview part of the God Awful News, and we'll just start with the basic technology of a speakerphone, speakerphone, and another phone, and we'll work forward from there, technologically speaking. That'd be cool. Right on, John. Cool, yeah, because we can bring attention to your channel. You're this close to monetizing, right? You got to go out there, and when you meet new people, you got to be like, hey man, can you just be I'm 100 people away from monetizing. Even if you never watch a video, I don't care. Just become a subscriber, right? And that's all that. So right on, John. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. That'll be cool. Oh, I do. All right. Do I have your email? I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But I'll just give the number out anyway. There are only like 9 people watching at a given time, and I have a phone that I never use and then I never will use. Like, if anybody calls me on it, I will never answer it because no one should ever call me on that phone. And if they do, I just yell at them right away, usually like, like aggressively, like, why are you calling this phone? But I could also just use that phone for this purpose and, ignore it the rest of the time in case anybody ever else called me on it. It's not a phone I'll ever use or answer. And so I've got an actual third phone number I could use for that purpose. We'll see. Anyway, then again, maybe I could get one of these, maybe Signal chat or some bullshit like that. I am on Signal, which is weird. I think I did that for a catfisher. Somebody that was trying to, they were pretending to be Tennessee Brando. Oh, and that happened on another one. Someone was pretending to be the Midas Touch guys or something. Anyway, they take on the name of the, Jesse Dollamore. It was a Jesse Dollamore -F. But I didn't know the difference. I thought it was maybe Jesse Dollamore writing back to me. But it wasn't, I'm pretty sure. I'm learning that's a new kind of scammer that tries to get you to think that you're the person because people write messages in the message boards on YouTube to the content provider, right? Hoping that they'll read it. But then some other person reads it and goes, oh, I'm going to slip in here and write back to them as if I'm that person. And they'll put that guy's picture up there just like looks like Jesse Dollamore. Anyway. I think I'm learning new things every day. All right, well, listen, thanks again for watching. 15 people. I can't believe there's 15. That's a lot of people, okay? That 15 people watch is a lot. So I just want to say thank you. Please like and subscribe. I need subscribers. We're on an upward trend from 5,000 to 5 million. We're headed to 5 million from 5,000. Any day now we're going to hit that mark. Allow yourself to be influenced. Go do a good deed. Eat right. Exercise. Sleep right. Don't gamble. Don't snort shit. Don't take pills. Don't hang out with violent people. Don't get in the wrong relationships. Don't drive drunk. Wear condoms and live and be happy. Cop a good attitude somehow. It's our job. In the limited time we have on earth, it's our job to be kind, nice, and have a good attitude. We're not supposed to have dominion. We're not supposed to destroy the planet in our image. We're supposed to be the caretakers of it. That's what dominion means in that religious context. Dominion means we need to be people who take care of the environment, not destroy it, right? Protect the mountain, not level it. And that's where religious people get confused. Oh, got another like. That's exciting. I got 12 likes. Oh my God, so many likes. And then when it's over with, if you want, go and make a comment, because all these comments just like disappear. I always thought maybe I could go back and look at these. I don't know how to. I love the repugnant. That's right. Don't be a repugnant Republican. I love I love my joke. I might smell bad and be ugly, and I can't change none of that. But a Republican can stop being a Republican. They can fix themselves. I can't fix none of this ugliness, but they can fix theirs. Right? That's a good message. And you know, say the oath. I'll never vote for a Republican again in my life, because you know what? They've never done anything good in my life. The last time someone in the Republican Party did something good, it was Richard Nixon when he started the EPA when I was 3. And then he got booted. So, all right, love you guys. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching All Good Things and All Good Time. And have a great day. Aloha. Hope you're feeling influenced. Love you guys.